So, good day, everyone. Good morning. And thank you again for taking the time this morning to join in on this Harcourts Promise refresher quick session or 'n bietjie afstof van die Harcourts Promise. And I was just thinking that we've been through a difficult year. There's so much happening in the marketplace, and I kind of get the sense that some of our team members have in the process of migrating to prop data and getting used to the functionality on prop data and the valuation or the CMA functionality, that has become almost like the main item that we use when we present to our homeowners. And in the process, some of us might have started to neglect the use of a pre-list presentation, a listing presentation, and also the use of the Harcourts Promise and selling the Harcourts Promise or presenting the Harcourts Promise to our homeowners. So the idea really is just to look with you, to take some time this morning just to look again at this amazing tool that we have in Harcourts called, as we know, the Harcourts Promise. And I'm going to treat it, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go through all the detail again, especially maybe for our new team members that might not have had much exposure to the Harcourts Promise. So it's going to be like a very basic session, just unpacking the elements of the Harcourts Promise. Now, I think first of all, we need to say to each other that every real estate agent in the marketplace, wherever you find yourself today in your market, I know that you are joining from the Western Cape, the Eastern Cape, the Garden Route. One of the biggest things that you want to do is you want to show your homeowner, your seller, how you are different from your opposition, what it is that you can offer them that is different, and why they would choose you to represent them in the marketplace when they are ready to take their property to market, right? And I think that we'll also agree that so many of the tools and things that estate agents use have become commoditized. We load our listings onto the web, we advertise it, we get professional photographers in and videographers and even virtual reality companies to photograph our property so that we can present it in the very best possible way. But what else is there that differentiate you from your opposition in your market? You might be dynamic, you might be professional, you might really know your scripts and dialogue, you might be very confident and all those things. But is that enough? Would that really differentiate you from your opposition? Because you have other competitor agents in your marketplace that are equally dynamic and equally professional. So we really need to find other ways and more ways to really push the envelope to differentiate ourselves and show our clients how we are better. And again, why we are the agents of choice. So let's look again at where the Harcourts Promise plays a role. And as we know, our vision in Harcourts is to create the finest experience in real estate, or it actually says for the Harcourts experience to be the finest experience in real estate, not only for our clients, but also for our fellow team members and our industry partners. Now, if we consider Harcourts as a brand throughout South Africa, and every brand that aspire to have a certain brand promise associated to a brand. Let's just think of Woolworths, if you don't mind. I think we'll all agree that the quality of Woolworths, there's a certain perception attached to or associated to the quality of Woolworths. If you buy any of their fresh produce, then you can know that those items should really last well for a few days. And that is the brand promise that comes with, let's say, Woolworths fruit and veg and those fresh items. Harcourts in New Zealand, in the past 9 years, in an annual survey that is done with the public, it's in the Reader's Digest survey. They survey companies and brands across all industries. In real estate, many of you will know that Harcourts has been awarded the most trusted real estate brand in New Zealand for 9 years running. Now, let's just think about that. The most trusted real estate brand for 9 years. That is phenomenal, wouldn't you say? The public in New Zealand sees Harcourts as the most trusted real estate brand. So that is what we want to achieve as a collective in South Africa. Wherever we are today in the Western Cape, the Eastern Cape, across South Africa, if you are wearing the Harcourts tie, the rosette, and you are batting for the Better in Blue team, the Harcourts team, we are all aspiring to take out that brand promise, that value proposition into our marketplace. Because if you in your market can really nail it and you can impress on your clients and you can show your clients that this is Harcourts, this is what we stand for, this is how we are different, this is how we are better, that not only benefits you in your market and your immediate team in your town, it also benefits Harcourts across South Africa. And that is what we as one team wants to achieve, is to take out these brand promise items that we associate to our brand and that we want the public to associate with Harcourts. If someone thinks of Harcourts, we want them to have a certain association about Harcourts. And that's the company that is absolutely committed, unrelentless commitment to delivering exceptional service. And that is what we stand for. And that is where the Harcourts promise plays a very, very, very big part. So let's look at the elements that form part of the Harcourts promise that we can present to our homeowners and that will drive that brand promise with your client and in your office and across for Harcourts across South Africa. So you are all familiar, or you should be familiar with this A4 Harcourts Promise Certificate. You should see it on my screen. And this is an A4 that you want to present to your homeowner. The moment that you get a request from them to value their property, just maybe for interest sake, they might just be interested to know what their property is worth. Or if they say to you, we want to know what we can get for our property because we're actually thinking of selling. Any time, any moment that we have an opportunity to present to a homeowner what Harcourt stands for and what our Harcourt's promise is, we want to present it to them. And it usually comes either in the form of your pre-list presentation or a listing presentation. And guys, I think we should never be shy to present this to our clients. Even if they're not thinking of selling, let's give it to them. They can throw it in the trash, but let's give it to them. Let's show them what we are about. So if I just enlarge this, we know that the Harcourts promise says it's your, which is the seller or the homeowner, exclusive service plan. Our commitment to delivering an exceptional level of service. Our mission is to create clients for life. To achieve this, we commit to our promise, a written assurance that we will deliver you an exceptional level of service, and most importantly, deliver on your primary objective to achieve the best possible result for your property. Our promise is made up of 5 essential services that you, our clients, need from us so that you're confident in the process we use to market your property. Our promise is your absolute assurance of how seriously we take our responsibilities on your behalf and the importance we place on our working relationship with you. So that really, really says it all, what our intent is with this Harcourts promise. So the Harcourts promise consists of 5 elements. The first one is a detailed marketing plan. This is to show our homeowner, if we take your property to market, Mr. or Mrs. homeowner or seller, these are the activities or the actions that we will do for you in week 1, week 2, week 3, up to week 8 of marketing your property. That is the detailed marketing plan that we present to our homeowner. And I want to challenge you as you are listening in today. If you are making a marketing plan currently part of your presentation or your value proposition to your homeowner, if you are, fantastic. I actually wanted to run a poll this morning, but I thought let me not do that. But I want to compliment you and congratulate you for making a detailed marketing plan part of your listing presentation. If you're not, then I want to encourage you to really start making that part of your value proposition and your presentation from this week. Get it done, get it in place, and make it part of your listing presentation. Now, let me pull up a marketing plan and show you what that looks like. Now, all of the promise elements can be found on the Harcourts Hub. So as I go into the Hub, I'm going to show you where to find the promise elements if you don't know yet. You can either search here in this little window, what are you looking for? And you can use the keyword promise. When you do that, it will show you search results. So here you have them. You can click on Harcourts Promise. If you click there, then you will be presented with these results. There's a little video, Harcourts Promise video. There's a folder, the Harcourts Promise folder. If I click on that, it will take me into this folder where I have these 5 files. Now, here we have an Afrikaans and an English marketing plan, our promise written marketing plan, and an 8-week bemarkingsplan. Now, if I click on that, as you know the hub, you can download a document from the hub onto your computer. So if you don't have a written marketing plan saved on your hard drive yet, please make sure that you download that the Harcourts, sorry, the marketing plan from the hub today, so that you can start to use that. I just want to open this so that I can show you what this looks like. It's called the written marketing plan, and this is just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So I think we'll all agree that a homeowner is going to award the agents that instill the highest level of trust with them to market their property, to market to represent them in the marketplace. It could be one agent, obviously, on a sole mandate, and that's what we aspire to. We aspire to represent our motivated sellers, where they have realistic expectations, price expectations. Um, we would love to market those properties on a sole mandate. And we can only achieve that if we show our clients what we're going to do for them, right? And that creates the trust. And on that basis, our sellers say to us, yes, please, I would love for you to market my property, and I would like to enter into a sole mandate with you. So the marketing plan, the one that you will find on the hub, is populated with generic, or if I can call it generic, activities. And what I want to ask you to do, again, if you don't have your own marketing plan yet, is to take this marketing plan in the next 2 to 3 days. Set an hour aside, and maybe even as a team, you can sit and you can do this together and work through these, excuse me, work through these activities that you see already populated in the marketing plan, and ask yourself, do we do these things? Should we leave them in the marketing plan, or should we remove them? And the activities that you do, but that are not currently in the marketing plan, add them to the marketing plan so that you can come up with a base or a standard, call it a standard marketing plan for your office or for yourself in your business, if you know what I mean, right? So every time that you then have to go and present to a homeowner, you already have your marketing plan ready. It's a generic basic marketing plan, or a basis, a standard marketing plan, and that could very well serve 90% of the properties that you are going to take to market. If you have a very special or an outlier type of property where you need to add other activities that you might do on that property, you can take your standard marketing plan and you can just adjust it very quickly. You can take 10 minutes and make a few adjustments to it. But the idea is not for you to go and recreate the marketing plan every time that you need to go and meet with a homeowner. You guys get the idea, right? So I'm pretty sure that most of you have your marketing plan already saved on your hard drive, and that every time that you put your listing presentation together, you just print your marketing plan and you add it to your listing presentation. That's the idea, because then ultimately your marketing plan it forms part of your listing presentation. Because remember, when we present to our homeowners, there are 5 main elements that we address. First of all, we speak about them. What is their situation? And I don't want to elaborate too much in this session on the listing presentation, because we want to focus on the Harcourts Promise. But we speak about the client, their goals, their aspirations, why they're selling, the level of urgency, and all those things. Then we speak about the market, and we talk about the market dynamics, whether it's a seller's market, a buyer's market, a balanced market, and how all those things impact on price, on value, etc. Then we speak about price. And in the whole discussion around price, our CMA forms part of the price discussion. Then we speak about marketing and advertising, right? What we can, as a Harcourts office, or I as a Harcourts agent, can do for my home, and what I'm offering you in terms of marketing and advertising to maximize the buyer's pool, so that we can get feet through the door, get buyer competition, and through buyer competition and through a sole mandate, we maximize what the market is willing to pay for that property. Now, part of that marketing discussion in the whole listing presentation is the 8-week marketing plan, or the marketing plan. It doesn't have to be 8 weeks. If your mandate is only for 4 weeks, then you have a 4-week marketing plan. Even if your mandate is for 3 months, you can present them with the first 4 weeks of marketing plan. The important thing is just, guys, that we want to include a marketing plan in our listing presentation. So the marketing plan forms part of that discussion around marketing and advertising the property. And obviously, the last point in the in the listing presentation is why us? Why should they choose us? There we again include the A4 Harcourts Promise Certificate, and all the other things that we present to them: an office profile, an agent profile, the benefits of a sole mandate, your testimonials, the testimonials from past clients, all those things, all those elements you include in the Why Us section of the listing presentation. But can you see where the marketing plan fits in the listing presentation? So that is the first point on the Harcourts Promise. Now, I want to ask you to think, how many agents in your marketplace today make a marketing plan part of their listing presentation to sellers? I would guess not many. I wouldn't know what percentage. Maybe some of you want to type something in the chat window, what you think the percentage of agents in the market today, in your market, what percentage of agents present a marketing plan to their sellers? I would be curious to see what those percentages are, what you think in your marketplace. But I think we'll all agree that if you are the agent that includes a marketing plan in a presentation, and no other agent does that, you're in front. You have the benefit, because you are showing them something that other agents haven't shown them. You're giving them something. You're creating trust. You're creating rapport. You are showing them how professional you are, how committed you are, how on top of things you are. And that is really, really a great, great tool to have. Remember, it is part of what we promise our client. When we say to our client, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I take your property on a sole mandate, I will execute on this marketing plan. So the marketing has to form part of your listing presentation, because that is what you use to sell yourself. Isn't that so? That is what you show your client to sell yourself. That is why you want them to choose you. The marketing plan doesn't come after the listing presentation. It's part of the listing presentation. I just want to see quickly. Sharon Hart says 5% of agents in her marketplace there in Veldrift, up on the West Coast, 5% of agents maybe use a marketing plan. That's a very low percentage. We want to be part of the 20% that sell 80% of the stock in your area. That is what we aspire to, isn't that so? The Pareto principle. And anything that we can do to be part of that 20% of the agents in your marketplace that sell 80% of the property, that's what we got to do. So that's the marketing plan. And you can read this in your own time, what it says around the marketing plan. So guys, just in closing on the marketing plan, please take this document if you don't have it yet. Pull it off the Harcourts Hub, work it through, change it to what you feel comfortable doing. Don't shy away. Can I encourage you? Don't shy away from the level of accountability that is associated to the marketing plan. I think that might be a hurdle for some agents. But I also, while I say that, I want to say it in the same breath, we as Harcourts agents should look at this as a non-negotiable. As long as we represent Harcourts, the Harcourts brand, and we want to drive that brand promise, we see these elements of the Harcourts promise as non-negotiable. In other words, it's not if you like it to or not. You just have to do it, right? You just got to do it. It's just got to be part of what you do. And it just takes a little bit of time to get into it. and to make it part of your value proposition. But it's not rocket science. It is what we do anyway. It is really what we do anyway. We just put it in writing. We put it black on white to our homeowners. We give them a copy. Once they've signed the mandate, we give them a copy of the marketing plan, and they can follow all the things that we are doing for them on their property. So if you have any questions, you are welcome to just unmute yourself and ask any question or make any comments on the written marketing plan before we move on to point 2 on the Harcourts promise. I'm just going to give it a few seconds for any one of you to make a comment or to ask a question on the Harcourts promise. Sorry, on the marketing plan. All right, so it seems that you're all good. Fantastic. So by the end of the week, if you don't have the written marketing plan tied up and ready to form part of your listing presentation, by Friday, your one will be ready. Great, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your commitment. Awesome. So I'm going to close this and let's look at the second point in the Harcourts promise. That is post-inspection feedback. We all want for Harcourts to be known as the agency that gives phenomenal feedback every time after we had a buyer through a property. Isn't that so? That's what you want for yourself. That's what you want for your sellers. And that's what we want for Harcourts as a brand. So it speaks about, we promise to our sellers that every time following each visit by a potential buyer and after every inspection, we will contact you to let you know how your property was perceived and whether any strong interest has been shown. This can be in a telephone call. It can obviously be in a WhatsApp, in an email. But the important thing, guys, is we cannot afford to be one of those agents where we take a buyer through and we only contact the seller 2, 3, 4 days later. Sometimes we don't even call them back. Yes, I know life happens. Sometimes we do slip up and things fall through the cracks. That is human. But I'm talking about our normal way that we conduct our business. We understand the importance, obviously to the seller. They want to hear what buyers said about their property. Our sellers went through a lot of trouble to prepare their home for the viewing. Now you come through, you show the buyers, you take them to a few properties, you're back at the office. Please, before the day runs out, make contact with those sellers, with those homeowners of those properties, and give them quick feedback on what the buyers said of their properties. That is our promise. It's our brand promise. If you do it, if your fellow team members in your office do it, if all of us throughout the Eastern Cape, the Western Cape, South Africa do this, Harcourts will be known as the agency that gives phenomenal feedback every time that we take a buyer through a property. Are you guys happy with that? You agree with obviously with the logic around that? Just to remind you very quickly that on prop data, I'm just going to open my prop data for a second. When you're in a listing and you are working with that buyer's profile, you remember that we work with leads, right? Our buyers are leads on listings. And in that lead sequence, from the time that it's a new lead to the time where they either make an offer or the property is then sold, or we archive that lead in the viewing section, because once when it's a new lead, we contact them, we then log the contact with that buyer, and once we have contacted them and they view the property, we want to log a viewing on that property. And in the viewing section, as you will remember, prop data then asks you, are they interested? Yes, maybe, or no. That feedback on whether they're interested, that sits on prop data for your own reference and for the reference of your office. But when you generate a seller's report, that then pulls into your seller's report, and that you then present in writing to your seller. You know that, and I know that most of you use this functionality on prop data. And keep going, guys. This is so important, because we're going to speak about the written report in a moment. but it's critically important that we log the viewings on a property. Apart from whether that you say whether the buyers are interested, yes, maybe or no, you also know that there's a section of for concerns. If your buyers had any price concerns, location concerns, size concerns, it offers a few options for concerns. You can tick those, you just tick those, and then you can make notes. You can make comments of what the buyer said of the property. All that information pulls through into the seller report and that we present to our seller. So just very important that you also log the viewing feedback every time that you had a buyer through the property. You guys cool with that? And I know this will become part of your process. The more you use prop data and the more you get just used to it, it's like riding a bicycle. You're going to get onto that bicycle and you're going to ride it beautifully. So that is post-inspection feedback. Are you guys all happy with that? If you want to just make a comment, please unmute yourself. I'm just going to go along, but please feel free to jump in. You can just start talking. I will stop and you can make a comment or ask your question. You are very, very welcome to do that. Right, the third point on the Harcourts promise is the written progress report. And we have such a clear concept of that already because all of you have been through the Harcourts migration training or the prop data migration training, and we have trained. Well, let's first of all say we came from H1 where we used the promise in H1, and we used that very successfully and very effectively. And now we have the same functionality on prop data, even with more information that we pull into that. Now, the important thing is we want to be known as that agency that gives written feedback also to our sellers. Now, the feedback to your seller can be once a week. It can be once every 2 weeks, once a fortnight. It can be once in 3 weeks, once in 4 weeks, depending, I imagine, on the type of the property, the activity on the property, the buyer activity. You know, if things are really busy and crazy, then you might want to give written feedback to your seller once a week. So I think what we just need to remember to do is to manage the expectation of our seller. If they're expecting your report, let's say every week on a Friday, then we just got to make sure that we deliver on that expectation. We send them their report every Friday because they might be sitting and waiting for that written feedback of everything that you've been doing. If it's every 2 weeks, then just make sure that you send it every 2 weeks. Yeah, so I really just think that that's the important thing. But again, I think there are so few agencies, guys, in the marketplace that send their sellers a written progress report. It's called a progress report because we are communicating the progress to our sellers. And why are we doing this? Our duty as estate agents is obviously to put our sellers in the very best position to make the most informed decision on the sale of their property. So when an offer to purchase comes in, they have to have all the information of all the activity that has taken place on the property, all the marketing that you've done, all the interest that has been generated on the property, people through the door, how many people have viewed the property, what have they said. So in other words, this offer that I'm sitting with as a seller, should I seriously consider this? And I can only do that if I have the full picture, if I have the whole picture. And we as agents have all these tools in Harcourts to put our sellers in that very best position. And we got to sell that to our sellers. We got to explain to them how we do it and why we as Harcourts will create that finest experience for them so that they are in the best position to make the most informed decision and sell their property in the quickest period of time at the highest price that the market will pay. So the written progress report, very, very important in that. And again, on prop data, we've already said that we have the seller report. If you click on the seller report, guys, I know that you've watched the videos on the hub. Many of you, most of you have started to make use of this promise report on prop data, and you've been sending this to your sellers. And it really is, I'm not going to go through this, but this is just to remember where it is. So you build your seller's report by using this template that you find on prop data. And then you can download the PDF that you present to your seller. This can be, you give it to them in their hand in a little folder, maybe once a week, or you attach it to an email, or you can send them an email from directly from here. This is an auto-generated email, not an auto-generated, but it's a pre-populated email that has a link in the email. And if they click on the link, they will open the seller's report on their side. You can also copy that report link, that same link that will be in that email. You can copy that report link. You can put this into a WhatsApp that you send out to your client. You can also put that report link in an email that you compose from Outlook and that you send to your seller. You guys get the picture. You understand all of this. And you can also send a WhatsApp from the system to your seller, again, with a link and with a little message that you compose just to send the link to them again. So please make sure that you deliver on the Harcourts brand promise. Remember, you are not only doing this for yourself. You're doing it for the team. You're doing it for your team in your town. You're doing it for the Harcourts team across the Western Cape, across the Eastern Cape. You're doing it for the Harcourts team in South Africa. We all rely, for Harcourts to become the most trusted brand in South Africa. We all rely on every team member to deliver on these things. To deliver really to knock it, to hit it out the park, guys. Like Travis Head hit it out the park on Sunday against India. Let's be like Travis Head. No, we don't want to be like the Australians. That's a terrible example. But you know, be like one of our top band. Be like Quentin de Kock. Let's hit it out the park. Yes, no, brother, come nonsense. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Right. Any comments or any questions on the written report? Point number 3, the written progress report. Remember, can I just, while I'm waiting for any of your comments, remember that you also should be adding every time that you do something under marketing on a property. You want to go to that property and under the promise report, you want to add the marketing activity. Under the promise report, here under marketing, remember that you have this marketing functionality. You want to be adding marketing activities. Why is that? Because when you sit with a seller where you are presenting an offer to purchase, you will take your written report with you, because that's going to be a summary of everything that you've been doing on that property until the day that you are presenting the OTP. So often it happens that we are challenged by our sellers on our commission. If you have a detailed um, seller's report, seller's feedback report, and you've kept up all the marketing that you've done on a property, this will be your reminder to your seller to show them all the things that you've done on their property. And then you can ask them, but Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I would like to remind you of all the activity that I've done on your property in the past 3 months. Is there anything that I did not do according to my mandate why you would want to cut me on my commission? I did everything in my power to bring you the highest possible price. Please let's not let commission stand in the way. And I'm deserving of my full commission that I take on this property. If you have the feedback report, then that will really stand you in good stead to stand up for your commission, and also to remind your seller why the offer that they have on the table might have to be seriously considered, right? Um, because it will show them all the feedback, etc., that you have, that buyers have given on their property. And yeah, anyway, you guys get the picture. I'm laboring the point now, but it's just such a crucial tool. And people will talk about you guys if you can make the written progress report part of your value proposition. You'll get so much word of mouth. People will stand around the Braai Vier tonight, this weekend, and they will speak about you that is marketing their property, and they have never received such incredible service from any real estate agent in their lives. And other people would also want to make use of your service. That's what we want. We need the referrals. We need the word of mouth. And by using these tools on the Harcourts Promise, we will generate the word of mouth. So that will benefit your business a great deal. Point 4 on the Harcourts Promise is the marketing review meetings. It's also so important to say to our sellers, when we meet with them, when we present to them, when we have a conversation trying to pitching to them and trying to sell ourselves to our sellers, they need to know that we will meet with them every 21 to 28 days. Every 3 to 4 weeks, we will come to see them. If it can't be in person, we will meet them on Zoom or in a Teams meeting. They might live in a different town, but we will have a face-to-face and we will review what's been happening on the property in the past 3 to 4 weeks. How has the market responded? How has the market responded to the price, what the property offers, etc., so that we can make decisions. It's a team effort, right, between you and the seller. They bring the property and they bring the condition of the property, and you got to work with that, and you bring your expertise and the marketing and the negotiation, etc. So it's that whole team effort. So we got to sit, we got to meet, we got to strategize and say, do we need to adjust the price uh, going into the next 2, 3, 4 weeks? So ideally, that could be a price discussion in that meeting to make the price adjustment, or anything else that needs to change or that needs to happen for this property to move, for us to be able to sell that property, you know? So the marketing review meetings, very important. And so many agents, they desert their clients. Isn't that so? We, I mean, I personally have heard of so many people that say to me that we gave a mandate to an agent in the past, and weeks and weeks have gone by and we haven't heard back from that agent again. They're not bringing buyers through. They just like completely dead and quiet. And that is just a tragedy. And I think that we all really, guys, I know that you'll agree with me. This is our profession. We have to take our responsibility to guard our profession so seriously, so that we make sure that the members of the public will see the value in estate agents in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years. But we are responsible for that. We have to uphold the reputation of the real estate profession. We know what the reputation of real estate agents is today. It's not fantastic. But if we go out as Harcourts agents out there and we show members of the public what the value of estate agents are, what we bring to the table, what we bring to the party, people will continue want to make use of estate agents to sell their property, to buy property, etc. We are challenged on a daily basis by other models and by disruptors, etc., that want to cut out the agent, cut out the middleman. We got to stand up. We got to do everything in our power to guard our profession. So we have all these magnificent tools to meet with our clients, to strategize with them, and to think, right, how are we going forward? So our sellers know when they sign up on a sole mandate with a Harcourts agent, my Harcourts agent will meet with me every 3 to 4 weeks. You guys happy with that? Those are the marketing review meetings. And make sure that you set the dates, the meeting dates, a few weeks in advance so that you are guaranteed a time with your seller. Then the fifth point, and we are going to close with this on the Harcourts promise, is that all offers will be presented in writing. We will ask that any potential buyer expressing an interest in your property put their offer in writing. This not only shows their sincere intent, but also allows us to enter negotiations in a committed and professional manner. We will be there to assist you and offer advice on the written offers received so that you can make a timely and informed decision with as little stress as possible. So that is the fifth point in our Harcourts promise, all offers presented in writing. So when you present this to your client and this becomes part then of the sole mandate, you will enter the seller's name, their address of the property that is going to be sold, the date, the office, your office, and your consultant's name. So I just want to remind you where the Harcourts promise fits into the pre-list presentation. Remember, I'm just going to close this prop data window and I'm going to open this document. The importance of a pre-list presentation should never be neglected. I want to encourage you guys to always keep in mind the importance of a pre-list presentation, and whenever you have an opportunity to send or give your homeowner a pre-list presentation, that's what we call it. You can give it another name, but we just call it a pre-list presentation. You should really, really use it. I want to remind you that it's a document that you send that just starts to inform your homeowner whether they are looking to sell or not, but they call you in to come and view their property, to do a market assessment on their home. And so you're going to view the property, you're going to do a market assessment on the property, but you want to give them information even before you meet them, even before you view the property, right? So let's say today is Tuesday. It's Tuesday morning, and I'm an agent in Durbanville. I happen to be here, but I get an inquiry from, or I get a request from a homeowner down the road to come and see them tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday afternoon at 4:30. But they do mention to me that they have a few other appointments with agents late in the afternoon. So I'm kind of agency number three in line. They're seeing other agencies before me and also after me. It's Tuesday morning. What do I do between now and tomorrow afternoon, 4:30? I have to send them something, right? I have to be able to either email them something, WhatsApp them a presentation, deliver it to their home, maybe in a beautiful blue box or in a folder or something. But I cannot. I really, really am cutting my feet off on two levels if I wait until tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. One is I'm not starting to impress on them how professional I am, what knowledge I have, what I stand for as an estate agent, and what I can offer them. That's the one thing. So I'm not starting to build the rapport and the expectation with them. And the second thing is that the agencies that they're going to meet tomorrow afternoon before they see me at 4:30, those agencies are going to push for a sole mandate if that homeowner is looking to sell. So I might even miss the boat tomorrow afternoon. That homeowner might contact me 10 minutes before my meeting and say, sorry, we got to cancel. We've just signed a 3-month sole mandate with another agency. So to try and prevent that, we need to deliver a pre-listing presentation to that homeowner so that they can remain interested to see us, just to create some awareness around our brand and what we can do. So let's have a look at this very quickly. There's a thank you letter in there. You will also find this on the Harcourts Hub under pre-list presentation. But as you page through this, you will notice that part of this is the Harcourts Promise. The Harcourts Promise forms part of that pre-list presentation. So what we're trying to say is that this is one of our cornerstone documents, cornerstone elements in what Harcourts is about that we need to present to our homeowners ASAP. Every time that I have an opportunity, as soon as I have an opportunity, this needs to be presented to my homeowner. It also forms part of our listing presentation, the detailed listing presentation that includes your CMA and all of those 5 elements that we spoke about earlier, or that I mentioned earlier. As you page through this you will also find on the hub, and I'm sure that you all have your fantastic. I know that you have fantastic listing presentations in your offices, but also part of the listing presentation is the Harcourts Promise. In this one, it's not called the Harcourts Promise, but serving you is our priority. And it has the 5 Harcourts Promise elements here, and that you will then communicate and explain to your client what that is all about. So friends, dis 'n redelike mondvol, but that kind of paints the whole picture, in my opinion, on this brilliant tool that we have in Harcourts. Remember, we as Harcourts agents, we said earlier what our vision is, and it's all about the finance experience, but we also have a customer experience program that also need to be communicated to our clients to explain to them that the moment that they sell or buy through us as a Harcourts agent, they will receive a survey, and they will complete the survey to rate us on the services that they've received from us. Remember that the survey is sent at the time of the transaction becoming unconditional. And we use those ratings as part of our social proof, and the public can see how other people have rated Harcourts. So it just all forms part of this incredible value offering that we as Harcourts have, that we got to take out to the marketplace. The Harcourts Promise, our vision, our client experience program. Let's really drive that as hard as we can. And I cannot thank you enough and compliment you enough to all of you that have done this exceptionally well. I mean, we see the CX ratings every month, and your agents, you, your team members, our regions are really, really on fire in terms of those CX ratings. So our clients are very, very, very happy with the services that they receive from us. Extremely happy. And we cannot thank you enough. We cannot thank you enough. And as we said, we're not only doing it, you're not only doing it for yourself and for your own team, but you're really doing it for the whole of the Harcourts brand across South Africa. Let's continue to drive that brand promise every day in our businesses. That's it from my side. It's 17 minutes past 9 on my watch. Are there any questions, any comments, anything that anyone would like to say or add? Moet net nie vir my sê dit is almal so verskriklik stil dat niemand iets het om te sê nie. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Can I just hear in someone else's voice? Otherwise, I'm just going to be very, very worried that actually enigste een wat vanoggend gepraat het. No, I'm just joking. You don't need to say anything. Pamela, jy het gewoonlik so baie om te sê, maar nou jy's vandag heeltemal stil, nê? Nee. Ek spot sommer net, ek spot sommer net. Okay, guys. If there's nothing else, thank you for your comments in the chat window. And have a great day further. Have a beautiful Tuesday. Have a great week. Look after yourself. And we will chat soon. Good luck with the Harcourts promise and your presentations and new listings and sales to all those great things. Have a great day, guys. Bye.